plug this in and we'll get rolling. We should talk. So this is the video about the show. Okay, I have questions. 10-15 questions in here. How did you find out about the show? So I found out about the show through one of my followers on Instagram. The show reached out to them initially and they didn't want to be on camera, so they recommended me. So then I applied to the show then and went through an interview process. I contacted them and then it was like a couple hours later they wanted to have a phone interview with me. So then I had a phone interview, and then a week later, I think like maybe 5 days later, Savannah and I had a like a video interview between just her, just me, and then us together. Then the production company, actually the casting company, then puts together like a reel to show to the production company, and then they decide who they want on the show. That took about a month. So we applied to the show in March, like early March, maybe like March 10th or something like that. I did the interviews, and then we didn't find out about the show until the beginning of April, either the beginning of April or end of April. I don't remember the dates. But basically, we didn't know if we'd be on the show. Like they don't contact you unless you make it. So that was weird, but that's how it happened. It was pretty cool. The next one is, what about COVID? So COVID was tricky. It was like right in the height of COVID. So the show was supposed to air in the summer in June. Yeah, like beginning of June. And it kept getting pushed back. And because Savannah and I live in Georgia, we had to quarantine in New York for 2 weeks before the show aired. We got into New York July 25th, 26th, something like that. So spoiler alert, we won the show. And if you won the show, you'd have to stay in New York an extra week. So we knew we would be in New York either 2 weeks or a month. So we quarantined for 2 weeks, and then we were on the show. So the first episode we filmed for 2 days, and then found out we made the finale. So then you had to stay 3 more days. So we filmed Monday and Tuesday. Found out we're on the finale. The finale aired on Wednesday, so the next day. And if you don't know about TV shows or there's like interviews, so those interviews happen at the end of the day. So we win episode 3, and then we have to stay till like 10 o'clock for all of our interviews, and since we were the winners, we had more questions and more things to talk about. And then so we don't get home until 10. Shooting for the finale is at like 7:30 the next morning, so we had to brainstorm and ideate about the finale. We had like 2 hours the day before to brainstorm the finale. So what you see on the finale when we're like talking things through, that was literally like what we were doing. So if you're on episode 1 or episode 2, you had almost a week to plan the finale, and we had like 2 hours. So which I think helped us in the long run, because it was just fresh ideas and we weren't like married to anything. So if something didn't work out, it was super easy to just throw it away and do something else. So that's that. How much did you know before the episodes? Yeah, so like I said, the finale, we knew it. They told us it was a grand living space with a loft. That's what they told us. And that was it. And it was your dream Christmas vacation. Like that was the title of the episode. So we knew that for the finale, and that was it. For episode 3, we knew what the mini challenge was going to be. So we knew it was like a feast. And we got to pick our decade. So we picked the 50s for mid-century. It was like, it's retro Christmas. So we got to pick the decade. I mean, we knew what the house was going to be, but the house had to be completed, 60% completed, which I don't know, I took really literally, and kind of like messes up in the end. So in the show, when we threw a house together in 30 minutes, literally we threw a house together in 30 minutes. So it's kind of what we knew. In the finale, we didn't know what the mini challenge was going to be, but we had created that same size tree for the episode 3. So that's why it was just like, yeah, let's go. Like, we knew what to do because we had literally made a tree the day before, 2 days before. So that was kind of easy. Okay, next one is, was the drama fake? Some of the drama was fake. So like, for example, so in the finale when Savannah and May are making, like, they're throwing pottery at the same time, like, we were cool with it. Like, it wasn't, we weren't really like, we were competing, but we weren't super cutthroat, you know what I mean? So like, May actually gave Savannah some ceramic, like some clay, to try out, because we were more interested in learning from each other and kind of seeing what other people were doing than like competing necessarily. At least that's how I took it, how we took it. So yeah, so some of that drama was like faked, to make it seem like, you know, Savannah and May were like, oh, who's gonna be better? Like, that stuff, like, that wasn't really like, that stuff's fake. But like, drama whenever we're like trying to throw a house together or something isn't working out or running out of time, that is not fake. It's very strange. So like, the room you're in, you know, it's a set and there's no windows, there's no clocks, there's none of that. So it's really hard to understand how much time has gone by, and you lose track of time. And like, 5 minutes could feel like 30 minutes, but an hour could feel like 5 minutes. Like, it was super weird. Really difficult. And I don't think people understand that when they're watching a show. Like, the conditions you're in is super weird. And it just like throws like everything off. So we couldn't have our watches, we couldn't have our phones, couldn't have our computers. Like, it was super weird. So some of the drama is fake, but majority of it is real. Like, that's how it was. What was constructing the houses like during the parts we didn't see? Really quiet. When you're on set, it's silent in there. You know, you can't play any music. There's cameras all around you. I'm used to this, so it wasn't a big deal being around cameras. Yeah, super quiet. We're just working. There's not a lot of talking. I guess it's kind of boring. But yeah, that's what that's like. Did you interact with the hosts and judges off camera? No, we did not. Once they were done filming, they left the set and we got back to work. So no, we did not. Can you reconcile the real drama with post-production? Reality versus what was like scripted? Yeah, I can. What you saw is what happened, especially with us. Like, we didn't have to, we were such a mess. There were like, we already had enough drama. Like, they didn't need to script anything for us. So I definitely can reconcile that. I mean, what they showed is what happened. Did anything happen on the show that you wish aired? I wish the finale was 2 hours. 1 hour felt super short and there was so much work. It was 3 days of filming. So there's like just tons of content, and there's some stuff that I wish that was on there. So like, they didn't get video. We made this like inset where like you would store logs, and there's like really beautiful like hammered gold like art in the back, and it was like lit. And it just kind of like warmed up the space. It was like really gorgeous. I think I have it. Here we go. So basically this is all hammered gold that we had done that would like catch the light from the from the fireplace. And then down here was just filled with the like wood logs. And then on the back we did like a black brick texture. So this looked gorgeous on camera, you know, and it just wasn't shown. Yeah, like I wish that was on the show, because it was just like, it was so beautiful in the space that yeah, I just wish it was there. What about the elves? The elves in the finale were really great. So what you didn't see is that our elves were new elves. So because each team got 2 elves, 2 new elves were hired for the show, and we got the 2 new ones. So they were really fresh, really excited, and the other elves had been on the show for 2 weeks. So they could have been more exhausted, more burnt out, kind of doing this miniature stuff, while we had like fresh eyes and fresh people. So I think that helped us significantly. So Joseph was really, really great. He was very excited. He helped loom a rug for me, and he was just like over the moon like doing it. He made a bunch of wreaths. He was super beneficial whenever we had to like restring the Christmas tree. Like, he was great. He was kind of the person who would be like, okay, take a deep breath, just calm down, so that we could like just like focus and move forward. So he was really beneficial for us. And then Don made the most beautiful cabinets, not cabinets, he made the most beautiful like built-in furniture. Like, I mean, it was so precise and so perfect, and like we needed that. And I could just tell him what I wanted. Like, I want a shelf that's this width, and I would just like point it out, this many shelves, and then I wanted to match the ceiling line. And then he just went and did it. You know, it's less time for me to have to sketch something out, be super precise. Like, he just did it, and I could trust that he would do it. So that was super, super helpful, because the finale, we had just a ton of built-ins and a ton of like wall units. So yeah, our elves were really great, especially for the finale. And I wish they were on camera more, but I guess that's not the show. What was the time delay from the finale to the life-size house? So it was a week. So we finished the finale, then we had to wait a week. During that week is whenever they were like redoing the other house. So it was a week. How was the prize / what did you do with the money? Yeah, so the prize was interesting. So on the show, it makes you seem like we get $50,000 in the house, or a stay in the house. Reality was you either take 50 grand and that's it, or you take 40 grand and the stay. We did not think the stay was worth $10,000, so we just took the money. What did I do with that money? I paid off my car and I took a trip to Hawaii. So that's what I did with that. Where are the houses / did you keep the houses? So the finale house is right here. This is the hat they put over my head. And yeah, here's the finale house. It's in shambles, obviously. Let's see if I can pull out some of this furniture Don made. So here's like, look how gorgeous. Like, he just did it so well. It matches the roof line, it matches everything, and it's just, it's gorgeous. The stuff he made was gorgeous. It's solid. You know, it's the kind of quality that I would make in furniture. I mean, it was great. People are wondering about the modern house. When they shipped this stuff to me, it came in these massive like freight crates. And our modern house, well, is in this box. Yeah, you know, here's the door. And ideally I would rebuild the modern house, because like this stuff that I've built is still in good shape. So like here's the foyer. Hold on, let me try to get this out. All of our like window panels are in here. It came back in shambles. But here's like the fireplace, you know, what's left of it. You know, here's all that work we did on the side. Here's the entrance, so the foyer is right here. So yeah, here's kind of the front side. So this house is in great shape. I still have all the cabinets. I have all that stuff. So ideally we would, you know, redo it. I've been pretty burnt out as of recently, but now I'm kind of like excited to get back in it and, you know, make some stuff. So, you know, yeah, so that's the modern house. It's episode 3. This guy back in here. Okay. These are the bookcases Dawn made. I mean, just gorgeous. Gorgeous. He made beautiful work. Yeah, so that's the outhouse. Eventually, this will be redone. Put some lights in it, things like that. And that's kind of the main questions that I get the most. So, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.